Jordens blod och urgravens grepp is the second full-length album from Haparanda, Sweden-based black metal band HÄXKAPELL. I would qualify that with pagan black metal. I think that is a good way of summing up their work and how it fits into the traditional and non-traditional schemes of black metal out of Sweden, as well as some influence from Norwegian black metal, probably the Oslo or Bergen area side of things. Otherwise, this is a group heavily influenced by melodic black metal, as well as what we would expect from the fellow behind Sons of Crom. There's certainly some Bathory-esque affect to this by nature. That is where all of this types of music really stems from. But I would also say that some of this sound reminds me of Manigarm and other groups in this style along the way. So there's a long tradition of this type of stuff. There is a lot to this type of work. So we'll cut to a song and then we'll see how it differs from the usual black folk metal and whatnot. So the previous record from this band was a huge point of interest for mine. Eldhimner had a melodic black metal influence that was pronounced. It was upfront and it was aggressive in both its pacing and its riffs. It was a beauteous record, but it was also one that was dark and really funneling through with what it was doing. And as we step into this record, we find dynamic has entered the breath of this artist, and we move away from the rushed early to mid 90s melodic black metal force of Swedish black metal, and we turn it back to something that is more concerned with atmosphere, space, and presenting songs that are not so predictably voiced. The way that manifests here is patiently developed pagan black metal songs, which are melodious, arcing in their dual guitar compositions and use of varietal voicing in terms of the vocals and the guitars. But we also find there's usually some kind of hook or point of interest in each of these pieces that makes them stand out. Now, I don't know that this is the record I was expecting to follow Eldhimner, but I find that a lot of the work here switches its mode towards Bathory-inspired second wave craft, which I would describe as somewhere between early Hades or Enslaved Frost in terms of some of the way that it develops its movement and its rhythm guitar sense, but it is not old school in that sense. This is something that is modern and vibrant in the way that you would expect in 2025. And overall, it feels like a lot has changed for this band in the way that they develop their statement as a whole. This is a much more patient and irregularly voiced yarn that extends into much broader strands. And so for me, it's novel in a sense, but it is less memorable and focal in the way that I enjoy a lot of classic extreme metal. So there's something vibrant and new about it. There's something that is old and arcane about its voice and its point of view. All of that adds up to something that I would give a moderately high recommendation. It's essentially a high recommendation, but I feel like overall there's parts of this record that will convince immediately, and then there are parts of it that will just take time to sort out and appreciate. And what that means is that it does feel uneven. It does feel a little bit lopsided in its interest, and overall it does suss itself out, but it will take a little bit of patience for most people to appreciate it. That's all. So otherwise, I think it's a fine record. It is above average in every sense, and it's a fine follow-up to their previous album. I see nothing but progress here and personalized craft that feels meaningful every time I approach it. Go ahead and check this out yourself. It released on January 17th, or go ahead and go back to the website and read my written review for a much more in-depth commentary on the whole thing.
You say